This one's for my single ladies. Black women over 40, where you live in retirement can shape your peace more than you think. One of the biggest questions in solo retirement is not just how much money do you need, it's where you're gonna live. So we are gonna be talking about housing, lifestyle, affordability, safety, and the kind of environment that supports our peace as retired solo single black women over 40. Yes. So why does housing even matter so much in retirement? Like, why is that like one of the number one things right next to what's your number? Let's talk about it. Housing is one of your biggest expenses. One of your biggest expenses. I mean, next to what? Healthcare and things like that. We ain't talking about that right yet. We're going back to housing. We don't want to drift. We don't want to drift. But your rent and your mortgage can definitely be your biggest bill. And also where you actually stay. Some neighborhoods cost more than the next. So it's all about, do I want to live posh and pay the cost? Do I want to live here amongst the things I don't want to live amongst? Do I want to find me a happy medium spot where I can still have, the joys of the luxe and then the joys of the normalcy, or the relatability, things of that nature. But to add to that, where you actually live can contribute to your peace, your safety, and your quality of life. As I dive deep into this, being financially stable is not the only component in retirement. It's also about environment. We all know no matter what, we could be in retirement, we can be in peace mode. You could still have a hard day and just need to decompress or just need some type of nice, quiet solitude. And your place is that, not just on the inside of your home where you can create nice scenery and nice things like plants and vibes and your sofa and your little trinkets and stuff. You need to be able to walk out your door and have a good environment as well. Yes, that's very important to me. I don't know about you. You could tell me. The wrong living situation can make retirement harder. And we don't want that. And I always mention retirements look different for each and every one of us. And I'm always going to keep repeating this over and over again. Retirement doesn't really mean you have to stop working in its entirety. You can work part-time. You could just retire from the job that you had and do something a little bit more different, more aligned with what you have going on in life. But we have conversations that we done covered that. But I want to make sure I touch on that because retirement looks different for each and every one of us. So what are some questions that us single women should be asking ourselves? Just like putting out there to know what our housing and living situation should look like in these retirement years. Do I want to stay where I am? Do I want to downsize? Do I want to rent or own? That's a whole conversation in itself because renting and owning, in some situations, renting could be a great idea. But in owning could be a great idea depending on if you're still paying a mortgage, are you paying maintenance fees, HOA fees? If you're not, if you live in a house or a townhouse or something like that, or a condo, do you have any help? You gotta really shift it and see how it makes sense to you. The cost, because again, fixed income here. Fixed income, not unless you do something on the side. Another conversation we have to talk about because you can still work if you're taking out Social Security, but it's only a certain amount of hours you can do. A certain amount, not hours, a certain amount of income you can bring in. Another conversation. I'm taking note. Do you want to relocate to a lower cost area? There's so many good retirement states out here. I live in one. I live in a retirement state where it's really good. So I don't foresee myself leaving North Carolina. But however, I have definitely thought about it. But the states I've been thinking about are too expensive. I think I just need to go there and just visit and have a good time. I don't think about retiring there. But I've definitely thought about leaving the state. And last but not least, because there's so many more questions to be asked, do you want community? Do you want to live in a community where there's like 55 and over? active 55 plus community. They have plenty of those here in North Carolina. So one thing I say, North Carolina understand that people come here to retire. We need to have nice, for those sedentary individuals who just want to keep still, maybe play a little, I guess, bridge or whatever them games is called. And then you have the other ones who are super, super active. They want to walk the trail. They want to play pickleball. They want to have, maybe Friday night karaoke at the clubhouse. They have that here. So retiring here is such a good place. Am I like promoting North Carolina as a retirement state? I think I am. But also think beyond, the house itself. Think about the maintenance, how that might look. Some of us may have homes that are paid for, not paid for, but the upkeep of it. We're on a fixed budget. Yes, we may have a kitty on the side and things like that for when things do happen. But who wants to pay for a boiler? Is it boiler, 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 boiler? Okay, my New York accent just came out. Boiler. You know what I'm talking about. But for me, I'm not only thinking about the actual place where I'm living at. I'm thinking about the lifestyle that I want. So if I'm living here, is my lifestyle going to be able to be just how I want it, or will it be altered? The maintenance, like how would that actually look in my place? Like I know for me, I could change a light bulb, things like when it comes to like filters and stuff and doing like really in-depth things, I don't want to do that anymore. Stove go out. I don't want to deal with that. Grass, damn sure don't want to deal with that. Just things, buying a whole new washer and dryer, don't want to deal with that. So I know for me, where I stand right now, I know it probably apartment living or buying a condo, but the maintenance has to be extremely low, or buy the condo out in itself and just pay for that monthly, maintenance fee. I've been thinking about all of this. I mean, I've been thinking about all of this. It's so much to it. It's not just like, let me get a pen and paper, write it out. This is what's going to happen. Because guess what? It's going to change. I'm thinking about it, and what I'm thinking about right now may change in the next 5 years. But I know whatever I think about is going to be good enough for me to last me throughout. And you know what? Say if I do want to move, it ain't nothing wrong with being near 60s and saying you want to pick up and move. One thing about me, I love change. I love new. And that might be something that I might want to even experience, maybe living abroad for a little bit. Who the heck knows? Who knows? But I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing how it feels to live in, as they say, Thailand, Bangkok, and all these different places where they're paying like $500 a month for rent. They live in these amazing apartments, You're retired, you're living for a month. And maybe you have a job that you might can do remotely. You're still making funds and you're using your American dollars to go somewhere else and enjoy life. Just because you are older doesn't mean that your life stops. That's where my thought process is. Let me know where your thought process is. Pretty much it boils up to say what kind of life you actually want to live. I know for me, I want to be very active. I know I definitely want to travel, and I definitely want to probably even later on do something that will definitely bring in, extra income, but I can definitely do it wherever. And I think about all the things that I deal with working, asking for my PTO. Now I got forever PTO. I'm forever off. You know what I mean? Or if I am working, look, hey, you on my time. I'm not on your time. I'm here temporary. I'm not full time. You know what I mean? You still got to abide by the rules, but at the end of the day, I don't want to sit back and literally ask for something that I actually earned. You're not doing that. So let's move on into safety, because safety really matters. We sit back and we're living alone. We're retired by ourselves. We're older now. We may not have too many people around us. What does that actually look like? I know for me, living alone, safety matters more than anything. Of course, we want to make sure that, we can afford it and things like that. But I really feel like safety comes up on the top list, because yeah, we may carry and conceal all the different things, but you just want to make sure that you're not living in an area where a lot's going on. You want to be in a very high surveillance area, things of that nature. I know for me. I know for me, you let me know. Community. Do you want to live in a space where there's like community? You know, there's a lot of folks, people you can lean on. Maybe one say, can you got some bread? You got some sugar? You know, however that go. Do you want that? I know for me, it's a yes and a no. I would definitely like to have some really nice neighbors or some people that are near to me during this time in my life and when I get there. You know, I would definitely want that. But the main thing is the access. The access and the resources is like making sure that I can get to that grocery store, that pharmacy, whatever I might need. You know, I like things like, you know, good old fish markets and whatnot. So I need to make sure things that I like is near me when I need it, even down to entertainment. Like I think about the area like Cameron Village that's here in North Carolina, that's here in the Raleigh area. They got comedy clubs, they got restaurants, they got bars, they got yoga studios, they got gyms, they got massage parlors, they got so many different things in that neighborhood. You really don't have to even live. They got grocery stores, they got fast food. Everything that you need is really right there. That's even like for North Hills. That's even like living like downtown. You have everything you need, from walking, from even getting on a bike. Like downtown area has a lot of those bikes that you can get on and go, and even the scooters. So think about that. Are you going to be one of those individuals that's going to be super, super active? I know me, I definitely want to be that active at 55 where I'm going out doing those type of things, walking, being social, meeting people, having my girlfriends come, friends and family come and visit me, and even me doing the visiting them. I even thought about even living abroad. We'll talk more about that later. But when you think about your space, also think about square footage. Do you want something really, really big? Do you want something really, really small? I know for me, I thought about a studio, a loft, something along those lines, because I do like the open concept, and I also I like to live very minimal. I don't need a lot of stuff. I don't need every corner and every wall to have something on it. And you can probably tell from behind me, I don't have a lot going on. Even in any space that you might have seen me in my home, I don't have a lot going on. I don't like clutter. I don't think having a lot of decor means it's a lived-in home. It's a feel that you get in when you walk through a door, regardless if you have stuff on the wall or not. I don't need dust collectors. And it's also a trauma response. Growing up where you had stuff and shit on everything. I grew up in an era where you had mirrors on the wall, wood paneling on the wall, plastic on the furniture. So I've had all of that growing up. I don't want that. That's why everything in my house is white. I'm traumatized. But the main thing is to be secure and to be safe as a single woman living alone. So in saying all of that, let your retirement life reflect your real life. Your real life. Not social media, not what sounds impressive, what actually feels sustainable. Again, we sit back and we think about, oh, right now I bring home this from my particular paycheck or my jobs or whatever, but when I'm retired, I only need $3,000, $4,000. Why can't you live that way now? Make your retirement early. Get out the rat race. Let go of the golden handcuffs. Now, I'm not forcing you. I'm really talking to myself, okay? Don't think I'm pressuring you. I'm just tapping myself on the hand, on the shoulders, so I can move myself along. And I'm just sharing my journey along with you. So don't think I'm pushing you. I'm not. Your retirement home should support the life that you actually want. And if you are a busybody, having the big house and I'm speaking for me, having the big house doesn't necessarily suits me. Because I want to be active. I want to travel. Why am I paying for a big old house and I'm traveling? I'm living my life, doing things that I want to do. I'm living the life that I want. Because we create our own life. We don't wait for the government. Sometimes simpler is just better. Smaller means smarter, because you're not, think about it. If you do have all the square footage, you have to pay for that. Even if you're renting or if you're buying, you still paying for square footage. I don't care if you're going this way or if you're going this way. You could have a townhouse with 3 floors, or you could have a house with 2 floors, 1 floor ranch, and it's still spread out wide. You paying for that. I feel like being more intentional is like the real flex. It's the real flex in this retirement thing. Just having a good strategy, a good plan, something very, very realistic. And again, not what you see on social media, not what you hear what your aunt did 15 years ago when she retired, or what the person doing at your job, what they doing, and how they telling you they gotta work until. Everybody situation is different. And also remember, a lot of people are still helping people in their family. So they don't want to turn things loose. They want to make sure they gotta have a safety net for when somebody asks. And I talked about that too, because I have one, but guess who it's for? Mine. It's a big picture, but we talking about housing. See how I get reared off? For single black women, where you live during your retirement is not a small decision. It affects your money, your peace, your safety, and your everyday life. Just make it a thoughtful part of your plan and you'll be good. And if you enjoyed this conversation, you know what to do. Hype it up, subscribe, comment, thumbs up, all the things, because when you do that, it lets other black women over 40 who are looking for this kind of community come on over here and be with us. And we want that. And if you know another black woman over 40 who would enjoy conversations like this, go ahead, share with her and tell her to come on over here and have good conversation with us. Okay? I'll talk to you later.